If I would have had somebody to bang, I would have been home banging. I didn't have anyone to bang, so I locked my buddy in his apartment because he was a dick. He was getting laid, right? He got laid and was like, dude, you guys got to get out and whatever. And I was like, that's a dick move, bro. We're stoned and we're playing Madden. Like, I'm in a fucking very good game. And he was like, oh, you guys got to go because I got somebody coming over or whatever. So we went about our business. He had the chick come over, booty call, leaves, right? So she leaves. We wait and we go over there and we're like, you know what? Fuck Ray. Ray's a dick. He made us leave and go out in the snow.
This is the same Ray that I know we stayed at his house whenever you
that's who I did.
When I was cooking.
Yep. So I go and I'm like, this is a great idea. So we were going to go and just vandalize his shit. Like we went and took his windshield wipers up and he had a sled, like his neighbor had a sled. We were in a big apartment complex. So we took the sled and we tied it to his, we put the sled over his windshield and then we tied it to his whatever. Yeah, just dumb stuff, right? Well, then we go to his house and we were like, as soon as we started tying stuff, right? We went, if we tie his front door and we tie the front door to his, to the railing in front, he won't be able to open the door. So we did that and we're laughing and pissing ourselves and whatever. And we went, okay, that's funny. He's got a back door, right? Because it was the landings and you had ponds behind and you had a back door. So I went, let's go around to the back door. So now we're trying to tie crap to his, we're trying to tie crap to his doorknob and a bush, because that's all we can find. So we're trying to wrap it around the bush, and we are laughing like hyenas. How he didn't know we were there and how he didn't find out, I have no idea.
Yeah, he was banging.
No, he was done banging. So there's no chick locked in there with him. The chick was already gone. It was a, wham bam, thank you, ma'am. So as we're doing this, I'm like, we ran out of rope, right? It's like the Boondock Saints, who needs a rope? Charlie Bronson always has the rope. So I'm like, we're out of rope. And I was like, dude, what are the odds? Because Ray always...
Charlie Bronson's got a rope.
Okay, fine. Get your fucking stinking rope. So I was like, there's no fucking rope. And I went, balls. I tried to get my buddy's shoelaces. Give me your shoelaces, right? Just give me your shoelaces. Dude, this is going to be epic. Well, I was like, dude, maybe one of his windows are open. So now we're trying to break into his house, right? We know Ray doesn't have a gun. He's not going to shoot us, but he's going to be pissed either way if he runs into us. So I'm like, all right. We're trying to break in windows or whatever. I reach over and grab the door and went, the door was open, the back door. And I was like, oh, dude, Ray never leaves his door open. So we go in and we steal his boots and we take his laces out of his boots to lock him in his own house. Like he's going to have to climb out of a window to get out of this house. We are barricading this man in the house. So we're walking around his house laughing, right? And I know I can beat Ray. If Ray came out and was mad, I'd punch him in the face and he'd sit down and, don't take it so seriously. Still a dick move. But I got you, Ray. Doesn't matter. I can beat you. You know better than to actually try and get into a physical altercation. I win. So we go there. We take his shoelaces. We do this and that. We're doing whatever. And we're trying to think of what would be, like Ray's passed out asleep because he can't hear us and he hasn't come out. So I go turn his thermostat up to and the one thing about this place, it had great heat. I turned it up to 90, past the 80, all the way up to 90, old school register. So we're giggling. We go back outside and we're like, he's going to wake up. And we now went to his bedroom door, right? We've taken every shoelace out of his thing and we're tying it in knots. So we've tied it from his bedroom door to his bathroom door. So it can't. He's pulling and it won't open, right? And it's not even enough for him to get a knife and as if he has a knife in his bed.
He's going to be sweaty at that point where he can't even grab the door and pull on it. He's going to have to bulldoze through it.
So for kicking us out and making us leave so he can get laid, right? Again, these are the things that I do. This is why Jakey should have sex. The government should subsidize me getting sex because I will be less of a harm to society as a whole or my friends. I was
going to say you should reproduce based on this story?
No. Sex. I'm not going to, I'm not going to put it in there. I like to make the mess on people. Yeah.
That's fine. You could use protection.
So we go back to my buddy's house, right? So we're only 4 buildings away. We all lived in this. We had 9 of us living in this apartment complex. So we're sitting there and I get a phone call. And I'm like, what is this? I get a phone call from my buddy who's a police officer, right? Get a call from my police officer buddy. I'm like, what's going on? He was like, hey, man, dude, is Ray okay? Is everything cool? I just got a weird call from him and a text and whatever. And I'm like, wow, what the hell's going on? I'm like, no, I don't know what's happening. He was like, well, dude, you guys are over there. Can you go check on him? I don't want to call the police. And I'm like, oh, no, don't call the cops. He was like, dude, Ray called me. He said he feels weird. It's 400 degrees in his apartment and he's locked in and whatever. So we have to tell our police officer buddy this is what happened, right? So he went right to the cops. Well, at least to a cop we knew. And he tells them, and we're like, oh no, like we need to go cut the thing. We had to go like it's like when you get an animal trapped, and then how do you get the animal out of the trap, right? And he's in the trap. So he's in there. I guess he wakes up from the account he tells my police officer buddy. He wakes up, and it's like 98 or 100 degrees in his bedroom, and he's drunk and hungover. He's sweating. He's laying in bed like, why am I wet? What's happening? He goes and he can't open the door, and he's beginning to pull it. He can't open the door, so he's panicking. He's freaking. He tried to call a couple people or do whatever, and he got a hold of our police officer buddy. So he eventually like pulled long enough, or either broke the door or whatever, and got out of the room. Right, the mousetrap wasn't that great. We were really drunk or stoned because we were stoned and playing Madden. So he gets out of the room. He started calling everyone, right? Because after a while, he figured it was us, right? When he saw the hokey, that we tied the door, and it was all, he had no shoelaces in any of his shoes. So even when he came out and he was like trying to run around, he goes to put his shoes on, his boots have no shoelaces. So it was an epic dick move, right? So as he goes through this whole process, he calls my buddy Mike. He calls like 3 or 4 and threatening him like, I'm going to beat your ass and do whatever, blah, blah, blah. They're all looking at me. They're like, how come Ray hasn't called you? And I went, yeah, why haven't you called me, Ray? Why haven't you threatened me, buddy? I was like, you know better, right? And he had to have known. He really thought, because my buddy Mike was the one who caused the biggest ruckus about us getting kicked out. I was just internalizing it, thinking of weird shit I could do to him. If I can't have sex, I'm going to go fuck with Ray, right?